Ahoy, this is Zdenka. Here is a quick B-roll shot with this little camera in 60 frames per second. And today I'll show you how I filmed it. We'll talk about composition, framing, angles, and all that. And then I'll take you to my editing studio where I'll show you how I put that piece together. Don't go anywhere. And for the new faces, welcome, my name is Zdenka Darula. I create photo and video tutorials like this, tech reviews and creative camera challenges. So if that's something you're interested in, you might consider clicking that subscribe button. Let's start finally. Now I know that a lot of people on this channel own entry-level camera, Canon M50, and most likely you are shooting your B-roll or planning on shooting your B-roll at 60 frames per second. Because the super slow motion 120 frames per second is only at 720p. Now, logically, I wanted to create a video like this so you can see the visual result and hopefully you can pick a few things here and there. Now, this video is filmed with Canon M50, which is right now here on a tripod, but the actual B-roll I'm gonna be filming with Canon M6 Mark II. The camera, the settings, the 60 frames per second, all is pretty much the same like Canon M50, so you can just very easily follow along. And besides the camera, I am using just a kit lens 15 to 45 millimeters. I'm gonna be also using ND filter, which is right now right there. I'm gonna put it on there. Should have bought two. I don't have two right now. And let's look at the settings. So the shutter speed has double, so it is 1/125th of a second because we are shooting at 60 frames per second. ISO is bright. There is no overcast day. There is no clouds whatsoever, so it is 100. And the f-stop I'm gonna keep very low. That's why I'm gonna be using the ND filter f3.5 because I want some of the parts sharp and the background nicely blurry. I want some bokeh to get that very nice look. In one of my past videos, actually it's one of the latest videos where I was filming with my smartphone and DJI Osmo Mobile 3, I had a plan. It was a story. So I had everything planned out each shot, but this time there is no story, there is no plan whatsoever. So I'm just gonna shoot a whole bunch of different clips around here, bring them on the computer, and try to edit it to the music, see how it feels, to get that feel out of the whole B-roll, depending on my personal style. Well, let's go and do it. So I'm gonna start with the establishing shots, showing off the whole place. I'm gonna shoot it from two different angles, from center and then from the side. Because I'm showing such a big landscape, I'm gonna be actually raising the aperture now a little bit to the f5.6 because I want a little bit more sharpness. Once I'm gonna be shooting more details, then I'm gonna lower it down to f3.5. And the way I hold my camera, I hold it a little bit lower in the center of my body because the lower I go, I'm finding the shots just looks way nicer. What I didn't also mention is that the autofocus right now is on and I'm just using a zone because it's a large area, so I'm not doing a one point or anything like that. I'm just using zone for autofocus. So right now I lowered my f-stop to 3.5 because I'm gonna be shooting with this cool fence and I want this kind of a shot going forward. As I'm gonna be going forward, the fence will be sharp and then everything else will be nice and blurry. Now, the way I am framing it, most of the fence will be on 2/3 of the shot. So I'm using the rule of thirds. And where the fence ends, it's kind of on the left side. I don't have the fence ending right in the center of the image just to make it kind of boring, but I'm gonna bring it a little bit to the left to make it more interesting. And when I was doing this shot, I was not using the zone anymore, but I was using spot metering for autofocus. Next to close-up shots, I'm going to use the red ground over there and that white line. So I'm gonna go very close to the ground, moving forward. Still I have the spot metering, and just with a very small move, I'm gonna show the very close-up ground and the area. The same thing applies to the white line. The shot with the white line, I'm gonna do in two different directions. Once I'm actually gonna be doing with the sun, so I have to be very careful because my arm can create a shadow. So I have to kind of hold it this way so I don't get that shadow on the white line. And then I'm gonna try the opposite way. I'm gonna shoot against the sun as well. The next shot I'm gonna be doing is just going from the pole straight to the top to show the lights, and then around the pole very tightly show the lights on the top. Now I zoomed all the way in to 45, and so my aperture right now at this point is f6.3. Next shot I'm gonna be doing is dividing these two areas by the fence. I'm gonna start here and pan to the right. I have f3.5 because I want the background sharp, but I want the front very blurry. And I'm actually gonna focus first and then switch it to manual focus to make sure when I'm passing the fence, the autofocus is not jumping on me. The one shot you saw me panning, but what I did for the next one, I was just kind of passing by. So I didn't pan this way, but I was panning this way. That completely changes the things. Then I wanted to do a little bit of a transition. So what I was doing, I was just kind of swinging the camera in all kind of directions. And in case there is some kind of a quick swift, I can put in the edit. And then I just continued taking different clips, mainly close-ups, taking advantage of different shapes and textures. Well, I think I have enough of footage around here, so let's go to the studio and edit the piece. Before I show you what I've done here on a timeline, let's talk about the music. I didn't have music picked first. I was looking for music with a strong beat, something more interesting. I found about 4 different choices. 3 were dance music, 1 was rock. Now, when I was thinking about baseball, I was imagining kind of guys, strong men playing baseball, and the dance music just didn't go with it. I thought it was a little bit too feminine, so I definitely wanted a rock music. It's got faster beat, which I don't mind because it's sports. And if you're interested in checking out Epidemic Sound, where I'm getting the music from, the link is in the video description below. You will have the first month for free. Well, I'm muting the music so it doesn't bother us. Let's look at the timeline, and it is a mix of clips, which I obviously filmed all at 60 frames per second. When I imported them on the timeline and started working with them, some of them I slowed down to 80%, others I slowed down all the way to 30%. I was also using a lot of speed ramping. When I did speed ramping, for example, in this first clip, the footage was slowed down to 40%, but here at the speed ramp, I went all the way to 400%. Because it is a fast music, I don't mind the fast jitter, kind of the fast move there, and then slow it down at the end again. So let me play that. As little transitions, like for example right here, I was using those clips where I was holding a camera and kind of waving it from the side to the side in all kinds of directions. I found little bits and pieces which fit with the background, and it's literally just a tiny one. Here we go. And it fits between those 2 clips. That's my transition. Another transition was right here, the same way. I was just moving the camera like this. So it was a very short clip, pretty much right here. And I believe in this one, because I wanted it a little bit faster, I actually sped it and I didn't keep it at 100%, I sped it up to 160%. Another speed ramp is here on this clip, because if I would go from the side of the fence to the other, it would just take forever. So at the beginning it was very slow, and then I went fast and then slow again. And in the middle here, I actually sped up all the way to 1000%. I went all the way up. So this is how it looked like. Let's move on. Another quick transition here. So again, this is where I was shaking the camera around. And that's all it was. It was just a lot of small clips. Some of them I slowed down to 40%, 80%, and some of them in the speed ramping, I really went up with the speed, like here, for example, all the way until 1000%. Now, then I created adjustment layer on top where I was just color grading the images. And here are the changes I made. I was working with the Lumetri color panels, just basic correction, and then color wheels match and some creative. I actually saved this LUTs and it's available to Patreons on my Patreon page. So for $2 only a month, you can get an access to all my LUTs and Adobe Lightroom presets, which I will be monthly posting on my Patreon page, and that will actually help me support this channel and push more videos like these for you. The adjustment layer on the top here helps you because you can color grade all the footage on a timeline, and that's exactly what I did. When I was filming all the clips, I made sure the sun is in my back. So I have all the clips looking the same with the same light. That way I knew that I don't have to go to individual clips to try to match them to each other. I can just do the adjustment layer, color graded once, and it will apply to everything. Last thing I want to talk about is the cinematic bars. Obviously, this is how the footage would look like if there would be no cinematic bars. Those are the bars on the top and at the bottom, but because I wanted it there, it looks a little bit more fancier. It will make it look like it is, you know, in the movies, so I kept it there. So now let's unmute the music and play the whole result all over again. Well, I hope you liked today's video. Hit the thumbs up button if you would like to see more videos like these, because they will be surely coming up. If you have any questions, comments, or simply want to say hello, you can do so in a comment section below. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching or would like to support this channel, Patreon link is in the video description below, and I will be adding LUTs from today's video there as well for existing Patreons. And I will see all my friends in the next video. Ciao, ahoy!